Hey, Brian from Garage Mahal. Today I have a VEVOR Coil nailer. This thing is pretty neat. I've actually had it out, been playing around with it, trying to fine tune everything so I can explain it to you better. Anyway, so let's open this up. So this is the box that you get your nailer in. And it comes wrapped in plastic. I actually took the plastic off, but I figured kind of show you how it's packed all together. Lay that down there. And it comes with a instruction booklet and a set of Allen keys to kind of like work on it in case you have jams or anything else. While I was playing around with it, I did not run across any jams, so that was good. And just kind of like give you an idea. So I mean, that's the instruction manual. I'm kind of like flipping through it, but it's basically gives you some hints and tips and tricks and everything else. And one thing I noticed about it is you have to adjust the pressure according to your air compressor. I'm going to be using, I think it's like one of those 6-gallon pancake ones for demonstrations, but I initially am going to use it on I have my big shop 100-gallon tank that I'm going to be using this with. And I initially had it adjusted to 90 psi without looking at it. The instructions clearly state 70. So when I started using it, obviously I have it hooked up from my shop, so 90 psi is the lowest pressure I use on an air wrench. This you got to tone it down to about 70. I think I put it on about 65 to 70 pounds, 66, 67, somewhere in that range. If you have it higher, you're going to experience double nails, double tapping. So you pull the trigger once, you're going to get 2 nails at the same time. So obviously you don't want that because that could damage the work area that you are working on. So I would practice with this like on a 2x4 or something thick, depending on the thickness of your nails, just to get some practice in so you know exactly the parameters of how it works, the depth that it pushes the nail out at, and just to kind of like fine tune so you don't get a double nail, you don't get like the double tap feature on that. So another setup is if you purchase boxes of nails, they're probably going to come like this. Coiled but not coiled. So what I ended up doing is I ended up taking this is for best performance, I took a screwdriver end and I basically unraveled these nails. Let me get this nail set ready. So kind of just unroll it and be careful with your hands because obviously these nails are sharp and it is attached by copper wire, and that is kind of sharp on the end of that as well. So I basically roll these completely out, and again, watch the end because you're going to have some bare copper there. And then I simply just took the end of my screwdriver and then I just started rolling these, and they're angled, so kind of like work it all together, but it kind of goes rather quickly. And I'll give you kind of the top view after I get these all rolled back into shape here. Now obviously because it's copper wire, you don't want to keep bending it back and forth. So try to only do this once when you're ready to load the nailer, like I'm going to be doing here. So again, so that's kind of like what you're left with, and then you can easily put that on your coil. And then to open, what you do is you basically hit this little button here and then push down. That will open up, and then that will open up your cartridge. And then what you want to do is see how nice and smooth that goes onto that canister, and make sure they're seated properly. Kind of give you an idea there. Okay, and then basically you want to kind of like line your nails up into the little feed mechanism, and it'll be kind of hard to see, but let me try to get the focus up here. Let me kind of hold it in there as well. So if you have it lined up perfect, you'll see how the copper kind of goes over to one spot. Let me try to even get it closer for you. So see how the copper kind of goes over those little grooves and the nail fits in there. So you want to kind of keep that situated like that. Close the cartridge port, and then you want to push down on this, and then it'll snap into place, and then you're ready to go. Anyway, so that's that. Let's go to the other part of my studio. We'll drive a couple nails with this and show you how it operates. So stay tuned. Okay, so here in my, I guess, like bike garage car studio, this is a practice piece that I use for all sorts of different gadgets and gizmos, and you can tell all the different practice nails that I had. I was getting a lot of double taps, and that was because I had the pressure too high, as I had alluded to before. So definitely make sure that you dial in your pressure, what you find to be the best for your compressor and the equipment. Again, definitely practice before you start using this on a regular basis, just so you have everything fine-tuned. On this compressor, I have it set to 75 PSI. That seemed to be like kind of like the sweet spot for this to get the right amount of, I guess, nailing pressure that I needed. And again, anything over that, I was getting that double nail. And you can try it. I don't recommend it, but you can try and you can see what that double nail process actually goes through. Always make sure that you're careful, have, you know, glasses on, gloves, etc. And getting this set up. So I always like to give it a quick shot of like WD-40 at the start and at the end of anything that I am doing, just to make sure that I have that maintained properly. And again, I love how it's got that little rubber cap, so you can you know, spray some WD-40 at the end, put the cap on, and you're good to go. And then just attach your airline, and then give it a quick moment. And like I said, so hold it nice and flush to your workpiece. And then it does put a nice recessed nail for you. So, and that's a little bit of that double tap. That's a single. And again, you want to have this as straight as you can. And then there, you'll get like consistent nailing all the time. Let's get a board here. We'll set this up. So, boom. So, single nail every single time. Again, sometimes you'll get like a double tap and maybe just back off the air pressure just a little bit, and that will definitely fine tune it for you. And again, using 2-inch nails, so I can easily go through 2x4 and get that workpiece nailed down. So 2-inch nail. Actually, I think these are 2.5 nails, correction. So that's a good amount, so you can get some, you know, paneling and side work put on. Again, it's works rather well. Okay, so basically my tank likes to be at the 135. Have it set for the pressure gauge coming out is at 75. So that gives you an idea of how many nails you can get at a time going through using like a pancake type compressor. So you get, you know, a decent amount of nails in between that kicking on. And I was able to, during my practice round with this, I was able to basically kind of continuously go through nailing. As long as you give a quick second in between, you can probably go quite a bit. But again, make sure your equipment, you know your equipment, and you keep an eye on how many nails you can actually do before your compressor kicks on, and make sure that it keeps at that sweet spot for you, like this, you know, 65 to 75 range, I think is the best. But just to kind of give you an idea, that is, you know, all the wood pieces I was able to do, 2x4s. And let's put one through here so you can see exactly how deep that goes. And you can see exactly how far that goes in and comes out. So that drives that nail nice and easy every single time. And again, there is a little bit of practice that would be required to, you know, basically go through and do like rapid fire. But I love the fact that this is not super heavy. And again, as long as you've worked out with different nailers and equipment and stuff like that, this should be not that big of a deal to get used to rather quickly. And again, make sure that when you're done, you disconnect that off, and then you give it just another quick squirt of oil to keep that nice and lubed and ready to go. But anyway, great nailer. Love it so far. I'm going to be putting a shed on a property, and I'm very excited about having this available so I can do like a lot of nailing without having to constantly reload. Anyway, Brian from Garage Mahal, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.